Kamusta mga kaibigan? Welcome to Josh Friends, where faith meets friendship and inspiration is always within reach. Ako po si Father Migs Ramirez, and as we step into another year together, I'm so glad you're here with us. For those just joining us, think of this as your spiritual tambayan, a place where we gather to share stories of faith through the amazing collection from jescom exclusives, Stories of Faith. Whether you're a long-time listener or this is your first time here, tuloy po kayo. Part na kayo ng barkada namin. Each episode, we invite friends of the Jesuits to share something special from the jescom exclusives library. Readings from our books, song lyrics turned into poetry, and words that might be exactly what your heart needs to hear today. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into another episode of heartwarming stories and uplifting messages. Are you ready? Let's go!
We are obsessed with endings, closure, resolution. But what about the in-between? The Saturday between Good Friday and the Easter Sunday? That long, heavy silence where nothing makes sense yet. Most of life actually happens there. I'm Syr Anthony Tortor, philosophy graduate, theology student, and seminarian at San Jose Seminary. At 25, people ask me, anong trabaho mo? Honestly, wala. At least not in the conventional sense. My work right now is discernment, study, and becoming. And that kind of work has a lot of Holy Saturdays. I play the piano, and one thing music taught me, especially listening to Jacob Collier, whose compositions are layered and emotionally complex, is that the most powerful moments in a piece aren't always the loudest. Sometimes it's the rest, the space between chords. That's where you feel the full weight of what just happened and the full anticipation of what's coming. Life in the seminary taught me to treat silence in the same way, not as emptiness, but as something full, if you're willing to sit in it long enough. Which is exactly what this week's reflection from Sacred Space is asking us to do. Sacred Space, Emerging from the Mess by Brendan McManus, SJ, and Jim Leeds, available now at jescom.ph/Josh, is a daily prayer companion that doesn't give you easy answers. It sits with you in the hard questions. This week's reflection says something simple but heavy. Going to the dark, empty place, facing it, not fleeing it, is where real encounter happens. With reality, with God. It points to Holy Saturday, when silence falls and the empty tomb becomes an invitation. Come, see. The disciples didn't go to the tomb expecting resurrection. They went because they were devastated. They went in the middle of their in-between. No guarantee of what they'd find. And that's the most human thing in the whole Easter story. Kasi ganyan talaga tayo. We don't go to the quiet places because we're spiritually ready. We go because we've run out of noise to fill the silence with. And for me, entering the seminary happened inside one of those spaces. After graduation, somewhere between what do you want to do and who are you becoming? That second question doesn't get answered by staying busy. It gets answered by going to the tomb, by sitting in the uncertainty long enough to hear something. For singers, for choir members, or for anyone who serves through music, you know this feeling too. After the last note fades and the church empties out, there's a quiet that feels bigger than you expected. Sacred space is for that moment. It's for the after. Because serving through music isn't just about hitting the right notes. It's about meaning what you sing. And you can only mean it if you've sat with it first. If you've let the words land somewhere inside you before offering them to anyone else. Emerging from the mess reminds us the darkness, the uncertainty, the mess, they are never the entirety of the story. There is always the promise of 3 days later. Not as a religious slogan, as a real lived truth. Whatever feels unresolved, unfinished, too quiet, too heavy right now, it is not the end of the story. The baton is still raised. The next note is coming. Grab your copy of Sacred Space, Emerging from the Mess at jescom.ph/Josh. Let it be your companion through the silence of this Holy Week. Salamat sa pagkikinig sa Josh Friends. I am Syr Anthony Tortor, and wherever you are in your story, keep going. The light is already on its way.
Maraming salamat po mga kaibigan. I hope the words we shared resonated with you and gave you something beautiful to carry into your week. Remember, the full book, song, or resource we featured today, along with so many other inspiring materials, can be found at jescom exclusives Stories of Faith. And before we go, I want to remind you, in this journey of faith, hindi ka nag-iisa. We are all in this together, growing and discovering God's love in every conversation, every story, and every moment. Ito po si Father Migs Ramirez, and until we meet again, paalam at ingat mga kaibigan.